everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to do single needle flat stitch so you can do beadwork just like this. You want to use stiff felt like Pellon, not flimsy felt. This is very important to prevent bunching in your work. I drew a straight line on my felt as my guide and cut the felt down to size. I'm going to start off using large pony beads and a yarn needle so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. I've threaded my needle and now I'm going to find the ends. I'll make one end a bit shorter and put a knot into the long end. Then I snip off the excess tail. To begin my stitch, I'm going to find my starting point. As a right-handed beader, I'll work from right to left. I'll start by poking my needle up from under my felt so it comes out in the beginning of my line. Then I'll pull my thread through and let the knot catch. From here, I'll pick up 6 beads. I move the beads down my thread until they meet the felt. Then I hold my thread tight in my left hand and move the beads towards the right so they lay close but not too close where they create crowding in the beads. Then I'll find the last bead and stick my needle down through the felt just a little bit farther away from the bead to accommodate for your tacking threads without causing crowding in your beads. Then pull your thread tight. Keep tension on the thread with your left hand. Find the space in the middle of your beads. This is where we will place our first tacking thread. From the bottom of your felt, poke your needle through one side of your beads so it passes up through the center. Pull tight. Next, poke your needle through the other side of your beads. The closer you get the threads, the straighter your beads will lay. Now pull through lightly. If you pull too tight, your beads won't lay right. You're going to repeat this tacking technique from left to right, skipping that center where you've just completed your tacking. You can tack every bead or every second bead. Sometimes I tack every third, depending on my project. Once you're done tacking down your beads, the thread should be next to the position where you started. From here, you want to pass your needle up through the felt as close to the original thread as you can. Then you'll pass your needle through all of your beads, from right to left. Now you're ready to add more beads. Load your needle and check how many beads you'll need to meet the end. I needed 3, so I took 1 bead off. Keeping the tension in my left hand, I move the beads into position. Then I find where I want to tack down my thread, ensuring it leaves space for tacking. Then I pull tight, keeping tension with my left hand. To tack my beads, I'll start in the middle usually, but as I only have 3 beads and only need to tack twice, I'll tack from left to right. To stabilize, I pass my needle through the felt. This time, instead of behind the first added bead, I'll go one more to the right to join the lines of beads. If you find this makes the beads slightly wonky, you can go back and add another tack over the stabilization between the first new bead and the last old bead. Now I pass my needle down through the felt where my other thread is. Now I can secure my thread on the back with a knot. Now let's see this with size 8/0 beads for reference. I'm using black thread so you can see what I'm doing better. I prep my thread with wax, then thread my needle. One end of my thread will be longer and I'll add my knot to it, trimming off the excess tail. My felt is prepped and I start off by passing my needle up through the felt using my line to guide me. It's okay to poke through a few times to get the needle position right. Then I pull tight, load my needle with 6 beads, move them to the felt. I keep tension on the thread with my left hand. Once my beads are in place, I pass my needle into the felt, leaving space to avoid crowding. Pull through, keep the tension, and start tacking. First in the middle, then from left to right. When I'm done tacking, I pass my needle up through the felt, then pass through all my beads. Repeat until you've beaded the length of your line. Then pass your needle down through the felt. Pull tight, tie off, then weave your needle through the felt to secure the tail before trimming the excess. Now that you've learned this stitch, you may want to check out this other video to learn how to do double brick stitch. See you in the next video.